In less than 24 hours, polls open and Americans will cast the final votes for the next president of the United States. We have all those details coming up.
KTXT FM staffers put off sleep and stayed on the air to raise awareness of college radio. We'll have a wrap-up of last week's event next.
And the Tech campus geared up for the final home game of the 2016 football season. Find out how one department helped fans get their guns up before Tech took on Texas.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Laura Duclos.
And I'm Abby Aldrich. News outlets, social media, and people all around the country are getting ready for the biggest political day of the year. For months, candidates have been working to get their names out and secure the chance to hold a city, state, or federal office.
That's right, Abby, and no election has stirred up more interest than the race for the President of the United States. MCTV's Rachel Blevins joins us now with an in-depth look at the candidates. Rachel?
Thanks, Laura. Election day is tomorrow, and while there were times when this election cycle felt like it would never end, we have finally reached the conclusion. The two most likely candidates to be elected are Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and we're going to take a moment to look at where they stand on the issues. On foreign policy, Clinton has taken a very hawkish stance. While she has not shown support for boots on the ground in Syria in order to defeat ISIS, she has been very critical of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. She has also been critical of Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has provided aid to Assad in his fight against ISIS. Trump has praised Putin's record and claimed that ISIS is the result of foreign policies supported by both Obama and Hillary Clinton. However, when it comes to actually defeating ISIS, Trump has used very vague examples and strategies. On the economy, an analysis by the Tax Policy Center found that Clinton's economic plan is very similar to the one used by Obama. It would increase revenues collected by $1.1 trillion over the next 10 years. In contrast, the Tax Policy Center found that Trump's tax plan would cause a far greater change, cutting $9.6 trillion over the next 10 years. Both candidates have voiced support for raising the minimum wage. While Clinton has pushed for it at the federal level, Trump has said that he would leave it up to the states. On immigration, Clinton has voiced support for immigration reform while also creating a path to citizenship. Trump has repeatedly called for a border wall between the United States and Mexico, and he has said that he plans to deport at least 6 million of the 11 million illegal immigrants. On gun control, Clinton has called for increased gun control measures, which include more background checks and a ban on assault weapons. Trump has disagreed with Clinton on both measures. However, he does agree with her that individuals on the no-fly list should not be allowed to own guns. On abortion, Clinton fully supports Roe v. Wade and voted against a ban on partial birth abortions when she was a senator in New York. Trump has said that he is pro-life and against abortion. However, he has also said that he intends to leave the final decision up to the states. On education, Clinton supports Common Core standards and has criticized the methods of accepting students that is used by charter schools. In contrast, Trump is against Common Core, and he has voiced support for a voucher program that lets parents decide where their children will go to school. And on college, both Clinton and Trump have voiced support for lowering the cost of tuition, with Clinton going as far as to say that she supports free public tuition for families making less than $125,000 a year. For the latest with MCTV's election coverage, I'm Rachel Blevins. Back to you, Laura and Abby.
So, Rachel, the polls have been all over the board during this year's election. Heading into tomorrow, has there been any consensus as to who might actually win?
That's a really good question. You know, you're right. Whenever you look at the polls used by the media, they usually show Clinton and Trump neck and neck. Now, what's really interesting to note is that a lot of these polls are weeks or even months old that we're looking at now, and as shown by WikiLeaks, the Clinton campaign knows all about going in and manipulating the polls based on the demographics that they use that are polled. So I think whenever it comes to determining who will actually win, we're just going to have to wait and see what the turnout is tomorrow.
The reopening of the investigation into the email sent by Clinton's campaign staffer Huma Abedin caused a lot of controversy here at the end of the campaign. With the investigation closed again over the weekend, how much impact do you think it will have on tomorrow's results?
You know, it's really interesting to look at that one as well, because this was a case that came up sort of last minute in the game, where the FBI announced that they had found 650,000 emails on the computer belonging to Anthony Weiner, who is Huma Abedin's husband, and that's how he's linked to Hillary Clinton. Now, in just 8 days, the FBI has said that there was nothing in these emails that would make them recommend charges against Hillary Clinton. Now, whenever it comes to how the public looks at this case and whether or not that would change the support that they have for Hillary Clinton, I think that a lot of people already have their minds made up, and that if they were going to look at a sort of scandal that Hillary was involved in, and they were to use that to justify their choice not to vote for her, they probably would have done it already.
Thanks, Rachel. Although Trump and Clinton are the most likely options to win tomorrow's election, 2 other candidates are listed on Texas's ballot. Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson and Green candidate Jill Stein both appear on ballots in the state of Texas. Johnson is the former governor of New Mexico, and he has been the most visible of the third-party candidates during this year's election cycle. Johnson's stance on policies tend to be more conservative, with a heavy emphasis on reducing the national debt and tax reform. Jill Stein has not received as much press coverage as Johnson, but she will still be on the ballot in 44 states. Stein's policies lean much further left, and most of her platform focuses on increasing the role of government in everyday life. Though neither Johnson or Stein are projected to produce enough votes to truly compete in the election, their presence on the ballot could have a huge impact, although it is unlikely if the third-party candidates gather enough support to prevent Clinton or Trump from earning a majority of the electoral votes. The final decision will be made by the House of Representatives. The last time the House decided the election was in 1825.
Beyond the presidential election, the Lubbock County ballot includes several state and local races. Although many of the candidates are running unopposed, there are a few races with options for your vote. One of the most important elections with local impact is the race for U.S. Representative for District 19. District 19 covers Lubbock, Big Spring, Abilene, and most of the counties on the South Plains. Republican Jody Arrington, Libertarian Troy Bonner, and Green candidate Mark Lawson are all competing for the seat in the House, vacated by Randy Neugebauer earlier this year. Arrington is a strong favorite in the race, as the position has been held by a Republican for more than 20 years. State races on the Lubbock ballot include Railroad Commissioner, 3 seats on the Texas Supreme Court, and 3 seats on the Court of Criminal Appeals. The remaining state and city of Lubbock races all consist of candidates running unopposed. For a look at the ballot before you head to the polls, visit votelubbock.org. Click on the sample ballot link near the bottom of the page.
Speaking of heading to the polls, there are more than 30 locations within the city limits where you can vote. Starting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., you can stop by the foyer of the library and fill out a ballot. Unlike years past, anyone registered to vote in Lubbock County can submit their ballot at any of the 38 polling locations in Lubbock and the surrounding area. A valid photo ID is necessary to vote in Texas. However, if you do not have an ID, an alternative form of identification may be used. For a full list of all polling locations, visit votelubbock.org. Last week, the South Plains finally saw a return of cool weather and rain following weeks of high temperatures around the 90-degree mark.
That's right, Abby. The change in weather led to a humid, cool weekend, and temperatures just barely topped 70 degrees. So is the change of weather here to stay? Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. The MCTV tower cam is showing mostly sunny skies with a few clouds on the horizon. Temperatures should stay around 70 degrees, making for a nice afternoon. But this evening, temperatures will drop down into the upper 40s as a cold front comes in overnight. Tomorrow, the mostly sunny skies will stick around, but high temperatures will barely make it into the 60s. Breezy winds will also make temperatures feel cooler, with wind speeds getting up to as high as 25 miles per hour. On Wednesday, temperatures will drop even further with a high in the mid-50s. Overcast skies will make for a gloomy day, but winds will lighten to 10 to 15 miles per hour. Overnight, clouds will move out of the area, leading to a slight rebound of temperatures on Thursday. Thursday's high should finish out around 60 degrees with partly cloudy skies and light winds. Overnight temperatures will stay in the 40s all 3 days. Looking ahead, sunny skies should return, but it looks like the cooler fall conditions are here to stay. Over the weekend, the Texas Tech Raiders took on the Texas Longhorns in the final home game of the 2016 season.
Fans from all over came into town to pack the Jones and watch what many were hoping would be a big victory for Tech. Unfortunately, that was not the case, as the Red Raiders fell to the Longhorns 45-37. Texas Tech started the game off well, keeping pace with Texas all the way to halftime. But after halftime, Tech's defense returned to its pre-TCU ways, with Texas scoring 2 unanswered touchdowns in the third and fourth quarters. Tech's offense was held to 482 yards, while Texas racked up over 650 yards. Saturday's loss leaves the Red Raiders with 4 wins, 2 short of the 6 victories needed to become bowl eligible. Tech gets its next shot to rack up a win against Oklahoma State in Stillwater on Saturday. The Cowboys will be tough competition with their only conference loss against Baylor in September. Since then, OSU has been on a 5-game winning streak, earning a Cowboys spot in the top 25. Tech is looking for an upset with kickoff set at 2:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1.
Even though the Red Raiders were not able to secure the victory on Saturday, fans still took advantage of several opportunities to get pumped up for the game, including one event where students could start tailgating a little bit early.
Take a little study break ourselves every now and then and have some fun.
On Friday, the Texas Tech Library hosted a tailgate before the UT game to give students a study break.
We want people to realize that the library isn't a stuffy place. We want the library to be a comfortable place for students to come if they just want to chill out, take a study break, or if they actually need to do some work. The library has everything they need.
Students passing by had the chance to pick up a hot dog lunch, a t-shirt, snap a photo with Raider Red, and catch some live music.
The new religion that'll bring you to your knees.
It's kind of cool since the end of the semester is coming up, and a lot of us have been studying. We just got done with midterm exams, so we needed this break, and so this is very relaxing and cool for the school to do for us.
Yeah, I think it's a great kind of interesting atmosphere with the live music and then the free stuff, and like she said, anybody's gonna come when there's free stuff.
Along with the handouts, students were able to stop by the newly renovated Crosland Room to watch the Red Raiders play in the 1939 Cotton Bowl game, and were able to learn more about what services the library can provide for them.
It's definitely something to look forward to next year as well, because everybody's taking tests today, they're getting homework done, and they come here and they can chill for a little bit.
And this is one way we like to get outside, get out from the library building, and share with students the fun personalities of the library.
If you missed this year's tailgate, you'll have to wait until next year, but until then you can find out more about Texas Tech Libraries and their services and events on their website. For MCTV, I'm Laura Duclos.
Even though there won't be any more home games this year, there's still plenty of options to keep you busy this week. Let's take a look at the MCTV events calendar. Tonight, head out to Premier Cinema at the South Plains Mall to catch a special screening of Doctor Strange. Marvel's newest movie features the backstory of a different kind of superhero, played by Benedict Cumberbatch. The movie has good reviews and is topping the box office. The Tech Activities Board is hosting tonight's screening free for the first 400 students with a Tech ID. The show is scheduled to start at 7 p.m., but be sure to get there early to secure a seat.
As we mentioned earlier, tomorrow marks the end of a heated election sure to make headlines. So why not witness history as it happens? The Tech Activities Board is hosting a special election party in the Sub Plaza. The event gives a chance for students to come together and watch the returns as they come in. Regardless of party affiliation, everyone is invited to come and join together as history is made and a president is elected. The watch party is scheduled from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and it's free with your Tech ID.
And on Wednesday, head back to the Student Union's ballroom for the annual nonprofit fair. The fair gives students a chance to meet with various organizations from around the South Plains about practicum opportunities, internships, or possibly even full-time employment. The fair is scheduled from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and students are encouraged to dress professionally and bring copies of their resume. The nonprofit fair is sponsored by the University Career Center. Texas Tech's only student-run broadcast outlet finished up a big celebration Saturday morning.
That's right, Abby. At 8 a.m., KTXT-FM officially wrapped up 24 hours of live broadcasting that celebrated College Radio Day. KTXT, also known as the Raider 88.1, broadcast a schedule of more than 10 studio shows and 2 events. The broadcast included a special 1-hour retrospective with the KTXT alumni, a live in-studio performance by local musicians, the Tech versus Iowa State volleyball game, and a live remote from the First Friday Art Trail. College Radio Day is an annual event used to raise awareness of college radio worldwide. This was the 3rd year KTXT has observed College Radio Day here at Texas Tech.
So Laura, have you already gone out and voted?
I did. I actually did it last Thursday. I think it's really important that everyone goes out and exercises their rights as a citizen.
I completely agree. I did mine last weekend. Well, that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thank you so much for joining us, and be sure to check out ttuhub.net every day for more news, and we'll see you on Thursday.